Hey guys, alright, so let's go over what we learned in class today. So we talked about something called trigonometric ratios, and I told you about sine, cosine, and tangent, and then we talked about SOHCAHTOA, and everybody was looking at me like I'm crazy. SOHCAHTOA is just a way of remembering what sine, cosine, and tangent are, alright? So S stands for sine, and then our O stands for opposite, and that's over hypotenuse. That's why sine equals opposite over hypotenuse. It's just a way to remember that, right? Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, again, just a way to remember it. And tangent is just opposite over adjacent. Okay, you have to remember these terms: sine, cosine, tangent, opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. So let's look at this right triangle right here, right? Now keep this in mind that we're only using these trig ratios for right triangles. Alright, so say I have this right triangle here, and I'm going to label it. Okay, I'm going to call this A. I'm going to call this B. And this is going to be C. So I have this right triangle, ABC. Alright, now say I wanted to look at angle A, right? Angle A is my focus angle. That's what I'm trying to look at, alright? If I wanted to find sine of angle A, right, let me write that down. Actually, I'll just copy what I have here. Alright, copy this. Ooh, it's blurry. Okay. So if I wanted to find sine of angle A, just type this in. Alright, it would be my opposite side. So if I look at angle A, right, let me move this down here. Which side length is opposite of angle A? Well, if I look here, if I look at angle A, opposite of that, just directly across, would be BC. So my opposite would be BC. And my hypotenuse is always directly across from my 90-degree angle, right here. Okay, you guys remember it as your largest side of the triangle. I always try to remember it as the side that's directly across from the 90 because that is a for sure way of doing this. Okay, sometimes you have a weird looking triangle and you're not sure which side is bigger than the other. It's always the one directly across from the 90-degree angle. So my hypotenuse is AC. So down here, H is going to be replaced with AC. Ooh, AC. Alright, now this is the way we do it. It's always your opposite over your hypotenuse. Now say I want to look at cosine of angle A. Well then I would look at the side that's adjacent to angle A. Now it can't be my hypotenuse. My hypotenuse is always my hypotenuse. It's not going to be adjacent. It's not going to be opposite. It's always my hypotenuse. So my adjacent here would be the other side that's next to angle A, which would be AB. Right? So I'm just going to replace, just put a B next to that. Right here, AB. Alright? And then my hypotenuse is always AC, okay? Now let's look at the tangent for angle A as well, alright? Just to finish up with my trig ratios. So looking at angle A, opposite of course is BC, like we talked about before. And my adjacent side again is AB, okay? So this is all you have to do. Alright, and then you're going to set up a ratio. If I had numbers here, if I told you that AC was like 5 and AB was 3, then I would have numbers in here, but right now I don't have numbers, I just have side lengths. Okay, it's a little crazy. Let me just move that up and color it so you can see what I'm trying to talk about. Put it in red. There we go, okay? So that's it. Now, say I want to look at angle C instead of angle A, right? Sine of angle A would sine of angle C would look different. All right, let's look at it. What would that look like? So I'm gonna get rid of this for now. I'm gonna move this here, copy it, move it here. So I'm gonna look at my sine for angle C. So now what's opposite of angle C is not BC, right? Opposite of angle C right here is AB. So it's going to be AB oh, come on. There we go. So it's going to be AB. And my hypotenuse is still AC. That's not changing. Now if I look at cosine for angle C, it's going to be my adjacent side, which is now BC, Come on. There we go. Got it. Apologize for the technical difficulties here. So my adjacent side to angle C would be BC, and then my hypotenuse is still AC. And then my tangent for angle C, I'm kind of just flipping it. So my opposite would be AB. Right, and my hypotenuse, my adjacent would be BC. Okay, close. And I'll change that to a different color so you can see. I'll put it to blue. There we go. Okay, so the whole thing with these trig ratios are to identify first your focus angle, and then to determine which side is opposite of that angle, which side is adjacent to that angle, and which side is your hypotenuse. Okay, that's tangent ratios. All right, just setting up a fraction and determining it. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the inverse of these ratios, and the inverse is just what undoes sine. So if we're looking for a ratio when we're talking about trig ratios, when we look at the inverse, we're going to look for the angle, and then with that we can solve right triangles. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. I hope you understand a little bit more than what we talked about in class. If you understood in class, I'm happy, but here's just another resource. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow.